Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philosophy of Fitness podcast, episode number 29. My name is Haley. I'm going to be your host today, and every single day that you are tuning in, guys, I have some very, very exciting news for you all before we even dive into this episode today. That's something I've been working on for a very long time is officially available. If you've been following me on social media, you're already familiar, but it is the Philosophy of Fitness 21-day mindset program. So this is a really cool online course that I developed. I've been working on it the past few months behind the scenes. I've really honestly put my heart and soul into this, and I can't wait to share it with you guys for you guys to learn from this. It's 21 days long. So 21 days is that sweet spot when we really start to formulate a new habit. So that's why I had chosen 21 days for this. And throughout the 21 days, you're going to get a daily lesson. And connected to each lesson, you're also going to get a journal prompt that gives you an opportunity to reflect, to kind of see where you're at. And this is all focused on your mindset. My main focus, especially with this, is kind of bridging that gap between our fitness goals and our mindset in particular. So each of the 21 days is catered towards just that, right? Elevating our mindset so that we can then really accomplish whatever it is that we're trying to do with our health. We want to align with our vision. We want to cultivate more mindfulness. Everything in this program will allow you to do that over the 21 days. You're also going to receive a guided meditation for each of the 3 weeks. So for week 1, the focus is recalibrating your internal compass. So there's a meditation and lessons and affirmations and activities that correspond with that. Week number 2, we really focus on honoring your progress, setbacks, road bumps, all that kind of stuff. And there's a special meditation that goes along with that as well. And then the final week is all about learning to let go of resistance. And then there's a final meditation that goes with that as well. So if you are interested in checking this out, if it sounds like something that you'd want to do, then go ahead and click the link in the description of this podcast. You can enroll. And the best thing about this, guys, it's entirely self-paced. So you really honestly can start when you want. You can finish when you want. There's no time limit to any of this. It's all kind of just as you want to go. And another little bonus here is that you're also going to have access to an exclusive Facebook group. And I'm going to be sharing some exclusive content in there that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. And you're going to be able to connect with other people that are also doing this program, that are also on the journey. So yeah, I am so excited to share that with you guys. It's been a busy few months for me developing that, but I really truly feel like so many of you will enjoy this and learn from it, and really be able to apply a lot of these sort of esoteric teachings that I talk about here on the podcast, so you can kind of weave and incorporate them into your lives so that you can really start to see some sustainable change from it. So yes, I will leave the link in the description. If you also want to check out my website, you can head over to thephilosophyoffitness.com. I also have the program up on there. I've got the podcast on there, lots of other cool stuff, a little bit more of my background, things like that. But yes, check out the link in the description, guys. It's going to be up and running, and you can buy this whenever you want. You can start whenever you want. Pretty cool. All right, so getting into today's topic, now that that is kind of put out there, I am super excited about it, by the way, and I really hope that you enjoy. I wanted to take today as an opportunity to talk about intention setting versus goal setting. And this is something that's been really significant in my life the past few months. It's something that's kind of taken me a while to really hammer down, but I've found it to be really powerful, especially with what I aim to do and what I'm trying to accomplish with everything that I've learned along the way and what I intend to do. So that's what we're going to talk about today. There is a fine distinction between intentions and goals, and that is what we're going to talk about. So I guess we'll first off just talk about like what a goal is, right? At a base level. Setting goals, I think, is an awesome thing to do. And I think that everybody should have goals of whatever it is that they want, that they are working towards. So if you think about it, a goal is more so like a big picture idea of something that you want to accomplish. When I think of a goal, I usually think of it as being this long-term thing that's kind of a little bit more in the future than what's immediately in front of us. So for some of you, that might be a goal of building strength. It could be a goal of even, maybe losing weight if that's your goal. It could be a goal of improving your health overall. Maybe you're trying to lower your blood pressure, whatever the case may be. That goal is your long picture, big picture idea of whatever it is that you are working towards day in, day out. So Before we get into this, I do want to say I think that it's very important to set goals. I certainly have goals, and there's a lot of things that I do to work towards my goals, which I talk about in the Mindset program if you're interested in that. But one of those things is making a vision board. If you aren't familiar, you kind of can just take either like a blank screen on your computer and you can put pictures in there, you can put affirmations, whatever it is, whatever your goals are that you're trying to work towards. And then you hang that up either on your computer, your room, your office, wherever it might be, a place that you're going to be able to see it all the time, because then when you see it, your mind is reminded of what it is that you're working towards. And it's also just a way to kind of stay motivated of like, okay, this is what I am working towards. But again, keeping in mind that this sort of has a little bit more of that future timeline connected to it. So that's the first step here. So then we have sort of this other branch off that comes from goals, and that is intention setting. And this is what I've kind of been shifting my inner game towards over the past few months, is setting intentions rather than thinking about this huge big picture goal. So like I said, a goal is sort of this long-term thing that we're always working towards. And for me, intention setting is something that can keep us a little bit more in the present moment. So if you think about it, intentions are the small little things that we do day in, day out that are going to add up and bring us closer to our goals. And so that right there in and of itself is pretty powerful, because as we all know, or if you're, listening to this, you've been following me for a while, you've been following the law of attraction, spirituality, we all know that being present is such a huge component of inner peace, happiness, and manifesting that which we desire. I actually did a video a little while ago about how being mentally present kind of elevates our workout success. I think that's literally the title of it. I'll link it in the description here, but it's essentially that idea that anything that kind of takes us away from the present moment is a thief of joy, right? If we're dwelling on the past, if we're worrying about the future, then we really can't fully focus on what's in front of us. And I think that's the reason why intentions have been so powerful for me, is that they keep me a bit more rooted in the present moment. And I mean, setting an intention is also, it's a little bit more of like a gentle expectation compared to, say, a goal. A goal is a little bit more rigid. It sometimes has a timeline associated with it, whereas an intention connects us to this present moment. It's basically affirming, right, that you're going to accomplish whatever it is that you are desiring. And then it's also kind of has this element of, okay, then you let it go. You set the intention and you let it go, and you trust that you're going to accomplish what you are setting out to do. So I literally looked up what the word intention means, and I figured that I would share that definition with you all here. So intention is a mental state that represents a commitment to carrying out an action or actions in the future. Intention involves mental activities such as planning and forethought. So again, intentions are still connected to that future goal, but I think the real key distinction here is understanding that intentions are the really small things that you can do on a daily basis that get you to the goal. It's almost like the intention is kind of the springboard or the catalyst to achieving the goal, and you cannot get to the goal without setting your intentions. So I figured I would share with you guys a couple examples of setting intentions in my life and how impactful, how powerful that's been for me. So it's been a huge part of my fitness journey first and foremost. If you're anything like me, I have this real tendency to put a lot of pressure on myself, or at least I used to. It's something that I work through all the time, especially with workouts, with really anything that I'm pursuing and doing. And I can get so caught up in that goal of whatever it is that I'm working towards that I can almost kind of hinder myself from getting there. And it's a little bit of a sticky place to be in mentally, because then you kind of start to attach your worth to that goal. And then if you don't see the results that you want, you kind of feel bad about yourself. And I recently did a video talking about how our worth really shouldn't be connected to that success, that we are already kind of worthy as we are. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to that as well. But again, kind of going back to this idea of intention setting. So the biggest way and the biggest shift that I noticed for myself was with running. So if you guys have been following me for a while, I used to be so terrible at running. I used to I was that kid in middle school that would be the last to finish the mile. I was so unathletic, like did not even challenge myself, didn't give a shit, like whatever. And then I discovered the law of attraction towards the end of high school, and I started exploring fitness a little bit more in college. I was really motivated. There was a time in college where I was running like 6 miles a day and I was feeling really good. But then through the years, I kind of lost sight of it. And then last year, end of last year, or the fall of last year, rather, I kind of rediscovered the law of attraction. And that's when I truly believe I had my spiritual awakening. And that's when a lot of this stuff became even more apparent to me. So, the biggest shift happened when I started to view my workouts through that lens of intention setting. And just let me explain that to you a little bit, because I know it might sound confusing. So if I were to set out for a run, any day that it might have been, I would set the intention before the run would start. So I would literally say to myself, like in my head, I would say, you know what, I am intending now. I set the intention that I am going to run 6 miles. And I would set that intention and then I would let it go. And I wouldn't let the numbers get in the way. I wouldn't let myself get caught up in that goal. I would just trust that I was going to get there no matter what. And part of what allowed me to accomplish that is that I actually took the pressure off of myself in a weird way by setting that intention and then letting it go. And I think that's a real key here, is understanding the significance of releasing that resistance and trusting in yourself, for one, and also in the universe that you're going to get there, that you're going to accomplish whatever it is that you're desiring. So you set the intention. It's a gentle expectation. That's what I want you to kind of think of an intention as. It's a gentle expectation. It's not a way to be harsh on yourself. It's not a way to put too much pressure on yourself, but rather it's approaching things with an understanding of your worthiness, what you're capable of accomplishing, and then setting out to do just that. So anytime that I would go out for these runs and I really took that time to set the intention mentally before I set out for them, I noticed that I was able to do it. And I would be so surprised and kind of like beside myself, like, wow, oh my God, I just ran 8 miles and that didn't even feel like 8 miles. Like, it felt so good and I felt so empowered. Whereas before, the trap that I kind of got caught in is, at least for me, this didn't really work. So I'm just sharing with you what worked for me, was that trap of setting a goal. So I would say like, okay, my goal right now is to hold this pace. I'm going to hold an 8.5 minute pace for X amount of miles, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And whenever I would say that, I would look down at my Fitbit, be constantly obsessing over the number that I see on there. Am I holding my pace? Am I not? And then you kind of just get caught up in your own head because you're trying so hard. Like, you're literally trying so hard, and it almost pushes that goal further away. You think about like vibrational resistance, right? Whenever we're really, really, really wanting something or really, really, really trying, it almost implies that we really, really don't have it. And that's kind of the weird, ironic thing about how the universe works, is the more that we let go, the more we're actually going to see. Again, exercise for me, that was a huge place that I found intention setting to be super powerful. I've even set intentions in my personal life. To be honest, I set the intention with the development of my program. I set the intention that I was going to develop an amazing value-based product that I would be able to deliver to you guys. And I didn't really put too much pressure on that end goal of, I need to have it done in X amount of time and it needs to be this and that, whatever. And I just kind of trusted in that process. And it evolved as I went along. And I started to realize some more things through it, and what would kind of resonate more, what would make sense more to bring. And I trusted that those little small steps would get me to my end goal. So every day throughout that process, I would set the intention of, writing this meditation for you guys, or I'm going to complete these affirmations. I'm going to, do this, do that, whatever it might be. It was those small little things that I would focus on. And as with anything, all of those small steps, they start to compound on themselves. And then the next thing you know, you're at your goal. And it's pretty cool, because once you start taking that pressure off of yourself, once you start kind of putting your goal on a pedestal and separating yourself from it by always thinking about it being something that's so far away, so distant, that you're like so distantly working towards, you kind of take your power back. And I know that certainly worked for me, because those small little intentions are truly what add up and are truly what get us to aligning with who we really want to be. And I so strongly believe that. And that's why I think intention setting is so powerful, guys. In any area of your life, you can set the intention. Even if when you wake up in the morning, set the intention maybe that you're going to just walk for 20 minutes a day. You set that intention. It could even be 10 minutes to start, right? So then you do that. You walk 10 minutes a day. A couple days you do that. The next day you say, okay, I'm going to set the intention that I walk 20 minutes today. Then you walk 20 minutes. And then the next thing you know, it comes up to 30. Maybe after that you start running. And then before you know it, it just becomes a part of who you are. And then you are your goal, right? It kind of almost shifts your identity. Intention setting has been one of the most powerful things that I've used in my life. And that's why I am so passionate about talking about it today. Because I really do feel, especially today, just a calling to talk about it. And remembering too that setting the intention is the stepping stone to the goal. So they kind of work with each other. And I think that that's really important to keep in mind. And you really can't have one without the other. Like you can't just set a goal without setting those daily intentions, because what happens is when we get too invested in that goal and then you question, well, can I actually do this? Can I really achieve this? So then you're giving off that energetic distinction between you and your goal. And that totally separates you from being on that optimal timeline where you can accomplish the goal. So it's taken me a long time to grasp this, but I really do think it's been powerful in my life. And even now I'm working towards setting intentions for new things. So just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, I guess, this podcast is audio only. So, you've been listening to this for a while by now. You can tell there is no video portion of this podcast, and that is intentional. And that's because I have set the intention now for the month of December, and also just for moving forward, that I've felt a bit more of a calling to make some more videos that are just regular videos on YouTube, talking about some other topics that I'm really interested in, some more esoteric things, some more controversial things that I want to share with you all and I think will help you all. But a part of that is me recognizing that I need to kind of shift my focus a little bit. And so I'm setting that intention now for the month of December for myself, that I'm going to allow myself that space to kind of really listen to myself, listen to my intuition, what's calling me, what's resonating with me. And I've kind of recently just had this kind of epiphany, download, whatever you want to call it, that I should be shifting gears a little bit. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So the podcast will still be happening, guys. Please don't think that it's going to stop, because it's certainly not going to stop. I love doing this. But there's just not going to be a video portion anymore. So I know most of you listen to this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify anyway, so it really shouldn't be too big of an adjustment. But like I said, I do want to shift my focus just so that I am able to create more content over on YouTube. That's truly video content. That's not just me on the podcast. So that's just a little side piece. But intention setting is something you can do every single day. I do it every single day. I do it every single morning. I have a very specific morning routine that I follow. And part of that is intention setting. And let me just tell you guys another little caveat here, or another tangent, I guess you could say. I allow myself now time to wake up early before I need to start my day, to fully align, to fully raise my vibration and make sure that I'm calibrated at the place that I want to be. And if you told me that a few years ago, I would think you were crazy, because I never used to be a morning person, like ever. I used to hate mornings. I used to always be groggy and I would sleep in. But I've realized, over time, that our morning totally sets the tone for the day. And when I take that time to really focus and to start my day from a place where I'm not like rushing around. I don't know about you guys. It's the worst feeling when you're rushing around in the morning, trying to get yourself all sorted out together. And then you kind of like carry that energy with you throughout the day, that scattered, chaotic energy. And that's not a place that I want to be in vibrationally. So I allow myself plenty of time in the morning to journal. I've been journaling every morning. It's been so transformative for me. I've gone through so many journals this year already, but I'm telling you guys, have a journal handy for yourselves in the morning. It's a really great way to kind of like reflect on how you're feeling. You can also have a dream journal. And if you start to kind of look at a dream journal, you can see, maybe some patterns, some things that keep coming up. But it's just a really nice way to kind of clear my mind, to get anything off my chest. I meditate. I have a manifestation ritual that I do, which kind of sounds super hokey pokey, but it's really not that hokey pokey. It's basically just me with a candle, saying my affirmations, my intentions, whatever it might be. So yes, intentions, part of that. I allow myself time to enjoy my coffee, my shower, like everything. And I encourage you to try that. I encourage you to carve out that time in your day to create space for yourself. It's really powerful. And setting an intention in the morning, super easy. It could be one intention for the day. You can literally even set an intention for a specific part of your day. Like if you guys aren't familiar, I'm a cycling instructor. And literally one of the first things that I'll say at class sometimes is I'll ask the riders, what's your intention? Get clear about that. Set that intention here now for the next 45 minutes and trust in it. Trust that you're going to get there. Trust that whatever you do here is going to serve that intention. And then what happens is they come in each and every single day. They serve that intention. They get closer and closer to achieving their goal. So super important to not overlook the significance and the power of intention setting. And something else that I think you should carry with you as you go into December, something that I'm carrying with me too, is take time for stillness. Take time to relax, to reflect. I think that in a lot of ways, winter is a time that really calls for us to do just that, to slow down, to dive inward a little bit more. And that's one of my intentions for this month as well, is to kind of find a little bit more of a balance. As I've mentioned, I do have a tendency to always just want to do it all and to show up in every area of my life to the best of my ability, but I got to practice what I preach too. Like, it is so important, guys, to meditate, to dive inward, to reflect, to listen to your heart, listen to your soul. What is calling you? What are you drawn towards? What are you feeling like you need intuitively? Our intuition is so powerful. It can really guide us and tell us what we're missing, what we're needing. And I realized that in a lot of ways. And I think my intuition was telling me, that I have to kind of take a little bit of a pivot right now. And I'm just feeling that in my life personally with this content that I'm creating, and hence why there's not going to be a video podcast anymore, but there's still going to be plenty of content to come. But the reason I say that is it's now going to allow me the space to create more video content instead of just the video of the podcast. So end all, be all here. Set your intentions. They're so powerful. Allow your intentions to be the stepping stones that get you to your goal, and make sure that you're not so focused on your goal, that future, that long-term thing that you're trying to achieve, that you totally lose sight of the moment in front of you. Whatever brings you back to this present moment here, whatever allows you to tap into this present moment, to make the most of it, is what it's going to be most fulfilling for you, and it's what's going to serve you in your highest good. So intentions for me, one of the most powerful ways I'm able to bring it back to just like a daily kind of thing, as opposed to like, oh, I want to achieve this in a year. It's like, okay, well, what are those small steps that I need to do to get there? What's something that I can do every single day that I know is going to get me to my goal? And then you set that intention each day when you wake up. You set the intention, I'm going to do this. And that's what happened for me in my fitness journey. I set that intention each and every single day that I was going to do something that contributed to my health and my overall well-being. And the next thing you know, it just became a part of my identity. It became a part of who I was. I started to just see myself as somebody that was strong and healthy. And the next thing I know, I was able to, achieve my goals with that. And I have new goals, obviously, that I'm working towards now, but I trust in that process, and I trust in the power of setting the intentions. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go ahead, leave me a rating, a review over on Apple Podcasts. It really helps out the algorithm. Also lets me know that you're enjoying the show. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell as well, so that you don't miss out on future episodes. The like button, whatever it is, comment down below. What are your goals for yourself? What are your intentions? I'd love to hear them. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm sending you so much love and lights, and I will see you next time.